Welcome everybody. With this short work in progress paper, we aim to present our experience with the digital transformation of Tiles, a car-based co-design toolkit. The transformation started during the pandemic and the lockdowns that made it impossible to run a co-located workshop. As we progress, we also started reflecting on what is the value of these tools and how they are accepted by users. Since Tiles has a number of characteristics that are common to other card-based design toolkit, we think that our experience may be useful also for other researchers. Tiles is a toolkit for the co-design of interactive objects to address relevant problems. A full description of the toolkit is beyond the scope of this paper. Here it is enough to say that the toolkit includes as main artifact 126 cards that are divided into 9 decks and a board that help the group to focus and keep an overview of the status. The Tiles toolkit also includes a process that through 7 steps takes the group from a problem that they want to address to an elevator pitch describing their envisioned solution. This process is not in force but is reported in the board to help to guide the group. The artifacts and the process are enacted in a workshop. In a workshop, groups of generally 4 or 5 people work around the board to generate their idea. The tools has been used in different settings, in secondary schools, at the university level, and in other contexts, for example, to design a solution connected with smart cities. So, COVID came, it was impossible to run a co-located workshop. We started looking for a solution that could allow us to run Tiles workshop online. We started with looking for a solution that could allow us to develop a tool without requiring much time and resources that at that point we didn't have. In addition, we were not sure about how an online workshop would have been accepted by the user. So we look for a platform to base our solution, and we decided to go for Miro. Miro is a commercial online whiteboard that many of you probably have used. We decided to try to recreate as much as possible the experience of the card-based toolkit. So we created decks or frames with for each decks of card. We recreated the board as much as possible, though the organizing it in a different way. We provided post-it, the playbook with the process, and a generic introduction about how to use the system. So at this point we had available a solution that we could start testing. We first ran a usability testing that resulted in the organization of the board, and then we ran 5 workshops, including a total of 16 participants, where we used Digitile together with Zoom for better communication capabilities. And a facilitator the same facilitator help. So, what are the results of this evaluation? We start by looking at the board that were created by the groups. all the groups were able to generate an idea and describe it at the hand. All the ideas were very different. In this slide, we report two examples to show not only the difference in the idea, for example, in the number of objects, these are the objects that are used in the solution, but also in the way they use the tools. So, for example, while in this solution, we see the storyboard represented in a way that is very similar to the one that would be done in a paper-based workshop. Here we see that the group use more the possibility offered by the tool. So we see that not only the outcomes of the workshop are different in terms of ideas, but also in terms of how the tools was used. Also in the progress. We also run a questionnaire. Of course, we only had 16 participants to this workshop, so this data does not have statistic relevance, but it's just useful to give us an indication of user perception. It's interesting to see that the participant most of the participants state that they ideas that they wouldn't have had without the card, that the cards help them to improve their ideas and to focus, help the group to focus and discuss their ideas. Even if we cannot make a direct comparison, we see that the results are in line with the result that we had got in a previous workshop with the card-based tool. The Digitiles also helped the users to cooperate, but it's interesting to point out some issue that may require some attention, as we see that some of the participants reporting getting a problem in gaining awareness of what was happening and to get a clear overview of the process in the team. So these are just two, if not negative, at least warning signs that we have to take into account. It's also interesting to see that the user enjoyed the experience. Digitiles most agree that Digitiles was fun to use and they would consider using them in the future in similar context. So though the solution was intended to be an emergency solution, we think that the result show that this may be an interesting alternative also in different situations. And we think that our results are in line with the similar effort that other research groups are doing. With this experience, we also show that this transition is possible using existing tools, so with very limited resources. Though there is clearly a trade-off between something that can be developed, for example, with Miro, and a tool that is developed for support the workshop from the scratch, where we can offer more functionality and more identifiable and tailored experience. Now, we absolutely don't want to say that the online workshop are equivalent to the physical one. We still believe that there is a benefit in a physical co-design workshop. But this experience clearly points out to the fact that we need to do more research to see when one form is better than the other, and especially in which way they can coexist and strengthen each other. The positive results also are justifying the effort to develop a fully fledged system to take full advantage of the digital. So with this, we conclude the presentation. We want to thank you for your attention, and please do not hesitate to contact us if you want any clarification, if you are interested to use Digitiles, or if you want to cooperate in any way. Thank you very much.